CTA buses are soon going to be rolling on the streets of the city, and the good news is they may even be more comfortable to ride. And so the CTA was out showing them off. One of these new accordion-style buses today. Each one of them seats 61 passengers. They have bike racks, as you can see there, for those of you who ride and then take the bus. And they'll be used on the busy Lakeshore Drive express routes. The CTA will now begin phasing out some of the older buses, which aren't accessible to people with disabilities. And the first of these new buses, and there are 226 of them that will be coming, but the first of them will be arriving next month.
Very nice.
In 2003, the CTA began receiving an order of 226 new articulated buses from North American Bus Industries, for short, NABI. The $102.1 million contract was the CTA's first order of new articulated vehicles since 1983. They replaced the rapidly deteriorating 7300 series main articulated buses, which were purchased from Seattle Metro in 2001. The used bus purchases was meant to temporarily fill the need for articulated buses, as the 7100 series main articulated buses delivered to the CTA in 1983 were no longer suitable for operation, yet they couldn't immediately be replaced with the new buses. The NABI vehicles came equipped with modern amenities, including wheelchair ramps, air conditioning, security cameras, bike racks, and automated announcement systems. These buses were numbered from 7500 to 7725, with the demo bus included also. In total, 226 units. The engine and transmission specifications was a Detroit Diesel Series 50 engine and a ZF6HP 602C. These particular buses are identical to this. Out of the entire 7500 series, 103rd, North Park, and 77th operated these buses. Shortly after the NABI buses went into service, several manufacturer defects became apparent on these buses. These included poor suspension systems, faulty rear doors, and appearance of cracks in the articulation joint. After paying $87.7 million towards the $102.1 million contract, CTA stopped payment to NABI in 2004, considering the ongoing issue with the buses. This led NABI to sue the CTA, which later prompted a countersuit from the CTA.
The CTA pulls more than 200 accordion-style buses from its fleet because of safety concerns, and that means commutes will be more crowded for a while. The problem of structural crack was found in one of the buses.
Several high ridership routes are being affected, and the CTA's president says the impact is going to be felt citywide. ABC 7's Ben Bradley live with more on the story right now. Ben?
Kathy, it's a crack that sources tell us is so significant that the only thing keeping the front and back of the bus together were power steering and cooling lines, plus that rubberized material that gives the bus its accordion look. Well, that bus was not carrying any passengers when this happened yesterday, and tonight the CTA has decided others like it won't be for at least a couple of days. Out of service and under the spotlight, more than 200 CTA buses are idled tonight, spilling out of garages across the city.
People could get hurt under those circumstances.
The CTA's employee union provided us with these pictures that they say shows the breaking point. It's called a Hubler joint, a critical component that attaches the front of the bus to the rear. It cracked yesterday on a bus that was only 5 years old.
That's a very dangerous thing to happen. The front of the bus could keep going and the rear will be wherever it was at.
The bus will be a little more crowded. You might want to leave a little earlier, leave a little later.
The CTA is moving quickly, pulling 226 buses manufactured by North American Bus Industries off the road. That represents roughly 6% of the CTA's bus fleet.
Yeah, I think they're doing the right thing.
We have to replace them with smaller buses. So there is an impact in terms of the amount of people who can ride the buses during this period.
This isn't the first problem to pop up with this brand of bus. In 2005, the CTA stopped payment to the same manufacturer after signs surfaced that brand new buses were prematurely wearing. At the time, small cracks were also noted.
Once the inspections are done, and if it is determined by our expert that the buses are safe, then we will return those buses to service.
On April 23rd of 2009, the Chicago Tribune reported that the buses were unlikely to resume service, causing many of the buses to wind up at 103rd and 77th Street, well known as the Boneyard for many of us. Finally, on May 7th of 2012, a Cook County Circuit judge ruled that the CTA could begin unloading the buses for scrap metal, a move that would net the agency $1.1 million. On April 8th of 2013, a settlement was reached that would allow the CTA to recoup up to $36.25 million of the $87.7 million contract paid on. And there you have it, folks, the 7500 series. Now, of course, these buses only lasted 5 years, but as far as I see it, if these buses were to be pulled back into service and running along with the current buses that the CTA has today, there is a very good chance that these buses would have retired sometime between 2018 into 2022. For now, the G2 Darrell fan, 1995, signing off.